guys, good day to everybody that's tuned in to my second YouTube video channel. I really hope that you guys enjoyed the first video, my premiere video, which I was just basically venting on how our liberation movement, our freedom, was basically defecated upon by the rest of the world, and recently now with South Africans, saying all kinds of stuff. But we are not here for that today. Today we'll be speaking about our devotion to our cause for freedom and justice for all. And by this, I hope everybody has their vitamins ready and everybody's taking their vitamins and staying healthy and safe at home, as we should be, sanitizing and making sure that we are not only taking good care of ourselves, but good care of the planet. Let's go green with our thinking. Let's have a multilateral way of thinking and solving our problems. That way, we are able to cover as much ground as possible, because like right now, the times that we're living in, it requires of us to be quite diligent and a bit more compassionate in the way we handle our matters, because like right now the world is a very, very cold place. Okay, it's a very, very cold place. I mean, look at the technological advancements that humanity is boasting about right now, but also look at the level of inequality, look at the level of poverty that we are living in Africa right now. In Africa right now, for you to have a least minimum, wage, it's a blessing. It's a blessing for you to be having some sort of income. What world are we living in? Is this the prosperous society that we envisioned? I think not. And that brings us back to the main concept of this video, which is our devotion to our cause of freedom. And one thing we as the democratic generation, by that I mean, the ones that are born post 94. So guys, what have we been doing? This video is mostly facing, and it's directed to us as the youth. What have we been doing? How devoted are we? Back then when we used to sing from Nkosi Siyelela in our creches and our kindergartens and stuff, we used to sing, let us live and strive for freedom at the end of our national anthem. What have we been doing? Have we been striving and living for freedom, or have we been living solely for our own interests and not the interests of the greater good of humanity? What have we been conditioned to be complacent to? Why are we letting so many things slide? I mean, it is your future that is being compromised. It is your future with your kids that is being compromised, future generations. And the current leaders are simply just in it for their own interest as well. So are we that ignorant to the truth, guys? Like, ever since 2012, I'm gonna go. This is a bit of a background story. Ever since 2012, we were supposed to have already have been enlightened up about what is happening in our country, and actually take a stand for our people, for the less vulnerable, for the voiceless. Why are we not doing that? Why are we not doing that? Is it because our parents conditioned us to, be number one in class and go for your degree and focus on getting money? And so it all comes down to our morals, what we've been taught, and what our parents have put us through. There's a quote I'd like to quote. It says, the true health of a society is you can witness that, like the true being of a society, you can see that through the way it treats its children. So we've been conditioned to be, self-centered. We've been conditioned to, even though our country is big on togetherness and inclusiveness, but we do not practice that. Like, this one persecutor friend of mine that I was engaging on a topic the other day, he's like, South Africa has a constitution that it cannot afford, which is true, because we have the best constitution in the whole world. But logistically, our infrastructure does not handle the pressure, it buckles. So what does that mean? It means then that the system itself is not compatible to the constitution of the people of South Africa. It is an African constitution at the end of the day, and it's based off of the Freedom Charter of the people of 1960, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, in Cliptown. So we have been divided by the system, because our parents know nothing but the system. They grew up in the apartheid era, so they know, they are conditioned and they are programmed to keep the system's interests in their minds and pass it on to the next generation, so that the next generation can survive. That's how they view it, But that's not how it should be, because we are only divided by class and not even class. Like right now, since we have achieved our democracy, we are only divided by a simple thing. It's those who choose to be free from the system of administration that keeps failing us year after year, election after election, and those who still believe that the system can change. And in what way, I do not know, because for me, people that still see change in this system of administration are living in they are in a fool's paradise mentally, because you cannot solve a problem on the same level on which it was created. It's like you cannot. How can you solve a problem where the problem was The problem was created in this setting. So how can you solve the problem in the same setting again, Using the same people, the same administration. It's impossible. So guys, we need to look into our current affairs. We need to look into the way we are being complacent about letting things slide, A lot of things are like, our people are dying, guys. Our people are dying. The very same people who cherished the idea of a free and democratic South Africa in which all people have equal access to opportunities and prosperity, those people are dying because of that idea, because if you can look at this clearly, I don't want to be sounding like a conspiracy theorist, but what I know is that a few years back, my organization, not my organization per se, but the people that have come together with this same idea of reclaiming the society of our dreams. All I do is just oversee all of that and have my input where I see necessary, but it's real people, it's real people who actually are seeing what's going on, and they do not want to be complacent about it because they realize that at the end of the day, those bad decisions that are being taken there are going to affect us in the long run, even though they're going to be benefiting those people who make those decisions. But it's going to be the ordinary people who suffer, from the repercussions of those ill decisions that are against the constitution of our people. Like, our people are simply looking for justice. South Africans have been hurt. Not only South Africans, but Africans in general. We have suffered a huge blow. And for the fact that we are not uniting, and picking up where our forefathers left off. I mean, it's these last 26 years of our democracy have been a test of our devotion to the idea of freedom and democracy, freedom for all, prosperity for all. It has been a test for us. Public knowledge is that the ANC is the one that's okay. I do not want to be okay. I will not be putting people's names or organizations' names because I know then they'll be, coming for me. Even though I'm being diplomatic about what I'm doing and I'm voicing out my opinions, and I have my freedom to be free and have my opinion, So even though these people in this administration, in this system of administration, they have convinced themselves and lied to themselves so much that they truly believe that what they're doing is in the interest of the people, and which is totally not. Ever since the people's constitution was broken by the head of house a few years back, if you can remember, the system has been acting in contradiction to the constitutional mandate that it was given. And it's public knowledge, It's public knowledge. So these people are leading our they're leading some of our people astray. I will not say all of our people, because some of our people can see what's really going on, but they do not have a solid foundation to fall back on, which I find so mind-boggling, because as South Africans internationally, we are known as the activist nation, as the activist South Africa, as the activist people. We strive for a world in which everybody lives freely, from persecution of religious beliefs, racial. Like, we are striving for a new world order. That is it. That is what South Africa is. That is what South Africa stands for. But we ourselves as South Africans, we take that for granted. We do not know how much power we have in our hands as a collective, first thing. And we do not hold the government accountable. So now the government and the system of administration, I'm not calling out people's names or anything. I'm just saying the system of administration that we are under is under the influence that everybody is towing the line to the narrative that they are leading, of which is utter nonsense, utter nonsense. Because the United Nations knows about us. The United Nations knows about our cause, and our people have justice on our side. We have justice on our side. So now these people are holding on to the last bit of, they are holding on to the last bit of the legacies of colonialism, of which we can now see clearly as a people together. I don't know if you guys can, but my people, we all know this, and this is what we all strive for every day, every time we connect and we engage one another. We make sure that we come forward with our new ideas, or on a new African social economic system, on a renaissance, the rebirth of Africa under one constitution, because that is what our constitution is. South African constitution is basically an umbrella that South Africa is holding up to itself, but it's embracing each and every other African people, of which we are supposed to extend that umbrella, and take it as an African constitution, and unite the African people under one idea of a democratic and free society, free from the colonialist legacies that are still running deep within our societies. I mean, the grips of corruption don't only have South Africa, but the whole African continent. And the United Nations is so complacent, and it's like, they are benefiting from this some way, somehow. I do know that. I mean, this is like this is the grand world heist that's actually happening in Africa right now. But because the African youth is not uniting and standing up and speaking as one voice, and coming up as one African society with one consensus, and saying this is how we solving our developmental problems, This is how we want to live. If we are not given that platform as the African youth, then the heist is going to continue on up until the next generations are not even, considered as human no more. Because then, our people are being killed. Our people are being killed every day. It's chemical warfare. There's no vaccine. Even if there was such a thing called a vaccine, of which all of this is starting to seem like a ploy to kill our people, because our idea is already out. We have taken the first steps, and now they realize, okay, the kettle is boiling and time is up. South African youth is waking up to this, because I have been in contact with the president of the United Nations, and that's when he initiated this youth envoy, of which I do commend its work. Okay, it's fine, but it's not on the ground. It's not reaching the ordinary people. If it were reaching people like you and I, we would be in a much more better situation to change our whole countries, and not only our country but our continent's situation. If they gave us the power that they're giving these people from the Middle East, the Indian, the Asian countries, if they were giving us South Africans, because I can see, okay, they do help out, here and there in Africa, but that's only grandstanding. That's only because justice is not an act of charity. Don't be giving us food and saying no, and making yourself feel better about feeding our people. Our people are more than capable of feeding themselves. But because our people have been oppressed, and our freedom to be free is being repressed and oppressed by the system, systematically and systemically, it's like we are being forced on our knees but expected to run. Like, how is that even? And the United Nations just sits on top of the world and is like, yes, we are helping this and we are doing that. And in the meantime, there's absolutely nothing happening on the ground, because if you were to give us, the South African youth, such platforms to voice out our perspectives on how we can overcome our developmental challenges, wouldn't that just be giving us our legs back, our prosthetic legs? Because clearly history has not been on our side for the past 400 years or so. I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but yes, that's what I mean. So as the African people, we have to realize that 400 plus minus 400 years ago, our African institutions and systems of administration were forcefully disrupted by colonialist ideas and interests that came and saw our vulnerability because of not being able to understand one another, and took advantage of that, So they did not, I wouldn't say they didn't realize that these people had their own thing going, but they undermined our intelligence because of how our way of life was. It was at peace. We were at peace with ourselves and with the rest of the world. But because it was not what the colonialists had in mind, they figured these people, let's introduce them to tax. Let's introduce them to our social economic system, or so now our people have grown into this colonialist system of administration, of which the rest of the world is, yes, of course. But remember now, South Africans, we cherish peace, we cherish freedom, and we cherish justice. And our freedom goes back to where we come from, our identity. So, in turn, we'll have to now go through a process called moral regeneration from this test of devotion, of which some of us have passed. I mean, we still have a lot of people out there who are fighting for justice, and of which I will really appreciate if we could come together as one and share ideas and engage, so that we can speak through one voice. If that is capable of happening, then we'll be able to mobilize, and in our mobilization, we'll be able to inform and educate our brothers and sisters of the power that they have in their hands, because before the old man died, what he told us. He told us it is in your hands now. So the system of administration is down, and it's down. The colonial system of administration is down, and it's decomposed. So there's nothing left for it. If you are still somewhere out there hoping that this party politics will lead you somewhere, you are just simply wasting your time, because the rest of South Africans, the rest of ordinary South Africans are no longer interested in hearing promises from people who are supposed to be working in our interests but are actually there for their own interests. If you are still in that mindset, I will advise that you come out of it and you open up your mind to new horizons and understand that we are now in a new territory, of which we will need to engage as much as often to understand where we are at each and every interval of our everyday living as we strive for freedom. So to whoever's out there watching this YouTube channel and you feel like, I could be part of that movement, I could be part of that liberation struggle, because it is not only our struggle. Our forefathers have pushed it so that it is the whole aspirations of humanity enshrined in our constitution. But if you do not see the power in all of that, then our constitution is just a constitution to you that is well decorated. But if you do not see the revolutionary power in our constitution, then I suggest that you go back and you read a bit more about our history and what we cherish, what our ideals are as a people, I just hope that next time I am able to dive deeper and into detail with other issues, regarding our liberation struggle and our liberation movement, because it is a movement. So, to everybody that's watching this, just know that they might be killing us every day, and our freedom to be free being held captive. But we all have a role to play, and that role is to mobilize behind the idea of a new social, economic, African system of administration that enshrines each and every individual in its mandate to carry through their own, what's the word I'm looking for? to carry out their own constitutional duties, which is to live in a world whereby you are at peace with yourself and the next person, and we respect the rights of all those who are our people. Whether you are born here and your parents are from Europe or Asia or America, you are still part of our people. Whether you are now living in America and your forefathers were sold as captive slaves to America or Asia, you are still part of our people. And if you migrated to Africa or South Africa, and you see the power that we have as the African society, if we could come together, then I suggest that you do get me on Facebook, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and make sure to hit the notification button, because we are going to be recording and we are going to be hosting chat rooms whereby we'll be engaging on Facebook. So I definitely would suggest that you stick around and we see just how much history we can make, because our forefathers put us in a position whereby we are able to change our course of our fate, if only we are in tune with our human compassion side, if only we are in tune with who we are as a people, as a nation, as an individual. Therefore, I'd like to conclude this video with a message of comfort to everybody that has lost their family members due to the corona pandemic. And I'm not one to be solely dependent on scientific knowledge, because scientific knowledge is very constrained to human understanding, and human understanding is not 100%. So my advice to you guys is stay safe, try to get as much exercise as possible, and drink as much water as possible, and try to bring your family closer and let them understand the times that we are living in, and how far we've came as a people, as a society, from wherever you are. Let's make this YouTube channel a force to be reckoned with. And I have a Facebook page of which I've made open to public, so whoever wants to check in and post whatever they see from wherever they are in the world, just know that our constitution allows for us to engage in all matters regarding the lives of ordinary people, you know? So until next time, I hope that you guys stay safe and you wear your masks at all times. I have mine. And yes, let's mobilize, engage, and continue being the best that we are, even though we are being we are basically being oppressed. Yeah, but anyways, yes, I hope you enjoy your day and the rest of the week till we meet again. No, till we meet again. Thank you.